Hey guys, Kirk here. I'm back after taking a month off, and first video back talking about the recent trades. I was going to do a Penguin chat, but my second favorite team made a trade with the Pens, so might as well, and Vegas made some other moves, might as well do it and just combine it into one video. And these are my thoughts on the Penguins and Golden Knights recent trades moves.
So Pens have made some moves today in the last few days. The Pens really have been having a rough season. It's been back and forward, and let's see what the Pens have been doing. First off, they trade fourth line centerman and Teddy Blueger, who's been having a really rough year, who scored before he got traded, so it ended a drought. So and Teddy Blueger was gonna leave this season. So we traded him to our second favorite team, to Vegas, and they get Peter something, a defenseman, and a 224 third round draft pick. And it's good to get an asset and better than them, but I most likely see this defenseman they got not making the playoffs. Silly me. Not making the NHL, or at least not for the Pens. So yeah. And then the Pens made a trade a couple of days ago, getting, I can't pronounce this guy's name from the Preds, and they give a 2023 second round pick. And now the Pens have a bottom six player that is 31 years old and under contract for 2 more seasons for $5 million. Great. Hextall just keeps making this team older. And today, the Pens traded Brock McGinn, who's had a really, really bad year and was placed on waivers and went to Wilkes-Barre. So the Ducks get him. And the Ducks also get a 224 third round pick, so that contract's gone, thankfully. And the Pens get Dimitri, I can't pronounce his name, but another older player. The Pens and Ron Hextall giving up assets. I know the picks they've given up are third rounders, a second round pick, but you never know what you can get in these drafts. You never know. There's been players that were late rounders that were really good. Mark Stone was not even a first round pick. There's other players that were late rounds. Jamie Benn, Ryan Miller, Pekka Rinne, Probowski, Henrik Zetterberg. I could probably name more, but this video would be going on for maybe more minutes than it should. But you never know what you can get out of this. And finally, the Pens bring back Nick Bonino. And this isn't a good idea. Even though the salary is retained it was done in a 3-way deal, Sharks and Montreal, this isn't a good idea because it's not 2017 anymore. That was 6 years ago. And Nick Bonino hasn't been the same player since leaving Pittsburgh. And it's mostly because Nashville played him terribly by thinking he was a top 6 center. That's one problem they messed up with Nashville. This is a really bad idea. The Pens seem to be thinking that they're still they can still do it, and bringing back old players will get a cup, but bringing back an old gang member doesn't always work. It doesn't. So yeah, it's like Uranaine Tree said in 2020 when he ripped the Pens apart. It was a team living off nostalgia than moving forward. And Hextall, you really have completely just wrecked things because you protected Jeff Carter in the expansion draft, Kasperi Kapanen. You let Brandon Tanev be exposed. You traded Jerick McCann. got selected by Seattle when he was traded to Toronto. You traded John Marino, who's been a great fit for New Jersey. The bottom six has just been terrible this year. And I guess Bonino's, an upgrade, like from Teddy Bluger for Fort Wayne centerman, because Nick Bonino's not going to play the third line center role. He's going to be in the Matt Cullen role, even though he's younger than Jeff Carter and some of the guys. Like, but Mike Sullivan's going to like him because he knows the system, because Bonino knows the system, and he's familiar with some of the guys on the ice and in the locker room. But this is a dumb idea. Like, still living off nostalgia. And still getting veterans and older players that may not have much left in the tank. Ron Hextall, what were you thinking? Like, I've been saying this for the last 2 months, and how bad they've been struggling, even though they've won 4 games in a row. This team is not going to win a Stanley Cup. The players are aging, like, they're older, the core is older. Rickard Rakell's almost 30. Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are in their mids, pushing to their late 30s. And the bottom six is just not good. And Jeff Carter has reached the decline, and he looks, and we got him for 1 more year and a no movement clause. This team is done. Like, they destroyed it. Like, Jim Rutherford, after 2017, the hit by Matt Niskanen on Crosby broke the Pens, and Tom Wilson's, like, being a deadly force against us in 2017. And yes, I know 18 he took out Zach Aston Reese, but the hit on Crosby broke the Pens. The hit by Matt Niskanen. And that made Rutherford think he needs to get people to protect the star players. So he signed it Matt Hunwick. He was getting bigger guys, grittier, enforcer grinders. Like first round pick and Oscar Sundqvist for Ryan Reeves. And the player they got can't play because of concussion issues. You go out for Jamie Alexiak. Then the year after, you trade Alexiak because Tom Wilson knocks him out. And in the 2018 offseason, you signed Jack Johnson, another slow guy. And then in 2019, you trade for Eric Branson. So Jim Rutherford was so focusing on what stopped Tom Wilson, but he forgot what made the Penguins win championships. Youth and speed, and Mike Sullivan's not any innocent. He had players like Garrett Wilson in the lineup that brought nothing in 2019. And he's been turning into a favorite. It's not making changes for the lineups, especially the last few years. And we all know Rutherford was trading first round picks and prospects, and also like for these guys, and trading the first round pick for Zucker when he was still on board. If the Pens don't win a cup this year, that first round pick trade and Kalen Anderson is all for nothing. And honestly, I'm really disappointed in Hextall. I thought he was going to be the beacon of light and like not make the same mistakes and trade for older veterans. But he destroyed the team. He's got them older, and the rest is the rest. What he should have done today was trade Brian Dumo, Danton Heinen, Jason Zucker. You may not get much like elite talent or an elite prospect or a top 6 prospect, or always get something like a few picks. And the only person I can see that would be a great asset for teams in the playoffs to get as a winger is Jason Zucker. You could have at least got 1 first pick out of that. That's what they should have done tonight. And another thing I would have done, and I know this is going to piss people off, is trade Tristan Jarry. The Pens aren't winning a cup with this core. They're not winning a cup with a bottom six that can't produce and a defense that is just going to get aging and slower. And Jarry wants possibly $6 million this year. And the problem, if we give him that contract, he gets injured a lot, Tristan Jarry. So you really would want to take a risk at that, like someone that just keeps getting injured and has had some rough times in the playoffs. Like Jarry is a decent, solid starter. He can win you 20 games pushing the 30, and that's pretty much it. I don't see him winning 40 to 50 games. Like I thought this guy Jarry could have been possibly an elite goaltender and win a Vezina trophy or two, but I was wrong. So the Pens should have sold at this deadline, but they're still going to try to make the playoffs and try to win now mode. So Hextall gets a C minus. Like this is really what I give him, a C minus. And now Zucker's gonna most likely walk, and we're not gonna get anything in return. And just great. And if Jarry walks, not the same thing. So congrats, Hextall. Like you really did destroy everything when you were supposed to be the beacon of light and not be like Jim Rutherford. Congrats, Hextall. And what I mean is after 217, I'm grateful for the Cups. Just glad he didn't trade the first round pick and Samuel Poulin, PJO, and others top prospects that we have left. But anyway, moving on. Vegas gets Teddy Blueger, as we all know, and like decent, good bottom fourth line centerman. I think Teddy can come in handy for depth. He's had a rough season, like with goal droughts and struggling. So hopefully a change of scenery can get him like not like put up like amazing numbers, but decent numbers for a fourth line centerman. And Vegas also traded their top best prospect in Zach. I said it right. Zach Den for St. Louis Blues player Ivan Barbashev. He's a depth piece. He's won a Stanley Cup with the Blues, so he has experience. So third liner, and he's reuniting with his former captain Alex Pietrangelo. So I guess that's something. And finally, Vegas gets a goalie in Jonathan Quick. And what LA did to him, real not cool. Not cool. But lucky Columbus was nice to flip him to Vegas for it. And when I first saw this, I'm like, really, they're chasing the next shiny toy? But he's 37 now, Jonathan Quick. You're not going to get prime Quick in 2012 and 2014 Jonathan Quick, but this is insurance because Logan Thompson's out and Robin Winters, we all know, is out for the whole season, and next season he's most likely on the way out. And when your starter goaltender is who's been a backup before in Aiden Hill, but who's now the third goaltender, there's an issue. So yeah, Vegas needed a goaltender because do you really expect Hill to win a playoff series if Logan Thompson and Wenner are out? And I don't know how long Logan Thompson's out, but according to someone I heard, he might not even return this season. So this is insurance, like, because Quick, even though he's older, out of his prime, like, he has experience for tough games, game sevens, I bet, must wins, and to get into the playoffs. So I'm wishing all the best of luck to Click, and this is kind of strange seeing in a new uniform, especially Vegas. I never thought we would have veterans like this. So yeah, Vegas, like, they didn't chase the next shiny toy like Kane or Tarasenko, thank God, because I'm pretty sure they know that without Stone, like, the chances are low. But Eichel has been producing good and getting hot at the right time, but they need everyone to score. The bottom six, I know Carrier's been helping out, but Marchessault's been a big help. But they need Carlson, Riley Smith to score, and the bottom six to score. We need Kessel to help. Vegas needs everyone to help because Vegas didn't go like crazy all in this year because they know their chances are very low and Stone might not even return this year. So, and plus Vegas knows their future and prospect pool is running out, and thankfully they didn't trade the first round pick. And the last few things I would say, if Click versus LA in the playoffs, that would be strange, and hopefully he gets a revenge tour. But the teams that scare me the most in the West are Colorado, now that they're getting healthy, the Stars, and the Edmonton Oilers, the way Connor McDavid has been playing this year, and what Ken Holland did at the deadline. So it's going to be tough. So if Vegas doesn't make the cup or win it, I say what they should do this offseason, they don't. Not like a rebuild, but a retool. Like, get some younger pieces. And as much as it pains me to say this, like, trade, like, some of the original Golden Misfits that are left. Like, pains me to say this: Carlson, Marchessault, Riley Smith, and possibly like some older players like Alex Martinez, if you can get him moved. Because Vegas has fired coaches, they've had stacked teams the last few years. Like last year, they had Stone, Eichel, Pacioretty, a stacked top six, like a very good defense with veteran leadership from Petrangelo, Martinez, and they couldn't get it done. They've traded like Fleury in the past because they thought he was the issue and they needed to get somewhat of a younger goaltender. Like, if things don't work this time, I say do a retool and see what happens in the next season to get some younger pieces. Like, not like a rebuild, but a retool. Because you can't keep going all in over and over with the same group and getting the next shiny toy and not making any progress. So, Vegas, can they do it? Things have to go right, and if they do make it, what worries me, if a team like Boston, Toronto, or Tampa, Carolina, or New York makes the finals. So it will be tough. So, and the last few things I'll say about the Pens is that they're done. I'm forever grateful for everything they've done. Like 4 Cup finals, 5 Eastern Conference finals, back-to-back runs, Winter Classics, Stadium Series, had a new Winter Classic this year, but they're done. I don't see them making the playoffs, and if they do, finishing out of their wild card spot, they're going to have to face Carolina or Devils if they finish first in the Metro. If they finish in the other wild card spot, they're going to have to play Boston. Or if the Rangers make first, they're going to get killed. Like, the Pens don't stand a chance. Anyway, that's all I have to say. What do you think of both these teams?